Just checking the quarterly sheet here. Mm-hmm. Seems to be a few errors.
Oh,
we're not supposed to release this many things in one quarter.
We're not?
Well,
how am I supposed to eat?
The world can't handle it.
Oh. True.
Wallets everywhere are imploding and exploding.
They are, yeah.
What are we going to do? What are we going to do, Jay?
We can't stop the train.
What about quarter two, Jay?
That's right.
It's a quarter two.
Quarter two has to be quarter one.
Quarter two has to be.
Works?
It has to. We need growth, damn it.
It has to, and then 2 has to be 3, and 3 has to be infinity.
Let's just do a quick review here. We have the Death Core of Krieg. Mm-hmm. We had High Elves. Mm-hmm. I've got Eldar. Mm-hmm. I've got the Git Mobs. I've got Emperor's Children. Give me some Soulblight Gravelords coming soon. I've got them Empire. Mm-hmm. I've got for Horus Heresy, we've got AdMech box sets, we've got Solar Auxiliary stuff, and there was Black Library releases, all sorts of other little things in between. Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. That's like 2.5 months, dude. Not even.
Yeah.
And like 3 of those things I listed were big mega box sets.
Yes, that all sold very well.
That all sold very, very well. Yeah.
Yes. Some of those weeks were just here's the army box, and then 3 weeks later they're like here's everything else, and people were like, I need it. Yeah, so basically this topic is just like, has there been a quarter this strong? Like it's been a while since I can think of like where we just got maybe. I mean, it wasn't this diverse, but I remember when Horus Heresy came back, it was pretty banging for like
there's no coincidence here that an incredible quarter corresponds with 3 mega 40k releases.
Yeah, true.
Let's be honest here.
Yes.
When's the last time? This is probably historical, actually, where a brand new army, Emperor's Children, is being released.
Well, yeah, I mean,
not the full release, but like the box set. Right?
Yeah.
Like it's brand new in the sense that they've never really done it as its own codex. They've never done it as its own release.
It's true. Like you're right. Yeah.
Like Krieg, kind of a brand new army as well.
Right.
Really.
Yeah. Because it was forged forever, which means no one bought it. Yeah.
Yeah. Like brand new, really like army. Eldar, massive range resculpts. Yep. Not a brand new army, but like a huge update.
Feels like it though.
Like we're talking 2.5 months and 3 armies for 40k.
Oh, and Eldar's
2 of them brand new.
Eldar's also a historical juggernaut for like a beloved OG
absolutely.
type of army. So when it gets a pick up, it's like it's kind of just a step below any new Space Marine coming out. And we had lots of people that were like, I need all the aspects of Phoenix Lords, and that's a lot of money too.
It's I mean $75 for 5 models.
Yeah.
Hello.
Yeah.
Hello.
Like
people keep saying the prices are too high, but
sometimes releases come and you get like 1 or 2 people are like, I'm going to buy it all. But when you have like 10 people saying, no, I need everything,
right?
It's very good for the store.
And for them, obviously. And people are just like really, unfortunately, the reality is, and you got sucked into this. We talked about this in another video, where like people know it's going to get sold out.
Yes.
For an undetermined amount of time.
Yes.
So it's like there's this narrow window where you're like, do you want it or not?
Yes.
So
no, for sure.
But yeah, so I think that all hyperbolic overreacting aside, this does feel a bit like a historical 3-month period where we're getting like just an insane increase in these large box sets again, which I never thought I'd say because we were already getting so many box sets last year. But these new army box sets, we got Krieg, Git Mobs, Emperor's Children, and Soulblight, which all probably will come out in the same 3-month period.
Yes.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Yeah. And I'm drowning in them. Like
no, and that's the thing that they've
sell.
It's
Emperor's Children sold in 4 seconds, and the other ones also sold pretty robustly.
Git Mobs, you could argue, was the weakest of all of them. But even with that being said, like we met our demand and we were able to restock a copy, and we're exactly happy with how that release went. So,
yeah, it's still because it's still very cool. The models are excellent. So people are still excited.
And people have tied into the fact that these box sets are actually really great deals.
They do save a box.
And I mean, we're all obviously working in the land of GW Monopoly made up money or whatever, because value is determined by
Yes.
the prices they set, right? But
Yes.
in their currency, these box sets are usually like a 30 to 40% savings if you care about the book and cards and that sort of stuff to play with, right? And they do cool stuff. Like we did, one of the first things we used to do on this channel was like we reviewed that Cities of Sigmar box?
Yes.
One of our first videos.
Yes.
And we're just like going through it. We're like, Jay and I love these sets because it's something we always wanted to see, which is a new... they used to do them back in the day called Vanguard boxes, where they were just like, here's all the new releases that are coming out, and you can buy them a little bit early.
Yes.
And then they did what I thought was cool, is they basically made the book in their special, so people that buy in early also get something cool.
Yep.
Yeah, they're just really well made. I've never bought one and felt bad about it.
No.
And if you ever regret it, you can easily move off of it for probably what you paid for it easily.
There's always someone looking for it. Yeah. No. They're rarely a heavy bag. Yeah. Even the poorest one. And actually, funny enough, the Cities one was one of the poorest selling ones, at least here. And it took some time, but we eventually moved them all. It wasn't even that big of a deal. It's so the discussion is like, well, what's next? Like, is this a function of their business being so robust right now that they are just they're starting to create these insane lineups? Because I mean, in theory, you will need to, as we've discussed many times before, and if you're new, I'm going to explain it again, is like many Western capitalist companies, the graph has to continuously go up. And so they tend to look at things they look at weekends and quarters. So they're looking at how many Saturdays are in a quarter and how the quarter overall. And essentially the next 3 months needs to beat the same period last year. So
Right.
January to March this year, I'm sure did beat January to March last year. And then March to June or April to June has got to beat last year. So... which is why a lot of these releases fall in almost the same weekends or same periods. So new editions always land in June or July and etc. So the next big preview is going to be Adepticon, and I imagine that sets up April through June.
Yep.
And I'm just like, I don't know. Like I'm actually pretty excited for once, because it could be. I mean, they kind of hinted at something like, is this when we get the Chaos Dwarves? Like, that would be a pretty good check mark. How can
you blow all these in like the first half of the year? It's kind of wild, right?
I am starting to think, like, what are we going to have?
Can we pace ourselves a little bit?
Now, like, there's some things. Like, we had High Elves. Now there's going to be probably a Wave 2 and 3 of High Elf releases, which will just
Wave 2. I think they've been in 2.
For sure, 2, yeah. They could do 3, though, if they wanted to.
I guess, they could.
That stuff will... the biggest weekend has already happened, and it was pretty, for an old world release, it was in line with what I thought it would be. I knew they would be
one of the more exciting
exciting ones. Yeah. So we got a good, again, for old world standards, a good amount, and I don't know if it probably is the best one of the lot, compared to like Empire and Dwarves, and not counting the early Bretts and Tomb Kings, but. So that's good, and I think probably of the last remaining ones, I think Wood Elves will outperform Beastmen. Maybe, I don't know. I'm just taking it.
I would be surprised if it didn't. Like, historically, Beastmen have never performed well.
There's a lot of Wood Elf model kits that have been just not around. So
yeah, for sure.
So it's funny that even those these like quiet things are still, do pretty well. So what I'm just like thinking, what is like? I guess they start looking at 40K, and you're like, well, what books aren't out yet? Well,
they're doing that. They're doing that following up the Slanesh release. They're going to follow it up with the other 3 Chaos Gods. Because they have that cool coin thing. Remember?
They're going to go like book. They're
going to go book after that.
Couple single minis.
Yep.
And then I guess like. There'll be a weekend that is just all the Slanesh models separately, and that'll be like 1 billion items. And
then you're going to get Fulgrim, which is like a huge seller and stuff like that, right? So that's going to be a great release.
The army sets are easy sells for us, but when GW goes like, so we're going to have everything in that set plus Fulgrim out separately now, how many of each do you want? You're like, oh my god.
I don't know, lots.
You get
time to stock up.
You get smashed, and I'm sure there's a ton of people that didn't get a box or that just want a Fulgrim.
Well, there's going to be the Soulblight Grave Lords separate release as well in that quarter as well. So you're going to get like...
So it's going to spill into the
that
next...
Vordry model.
Yeah. Okay. Yes, that's true.
Man, that's going to be 2 bills, probably.
Yeah.
2 bills.
Yeah.
So there's a couple things that they're going to have.
They have some... So I guess there will be a bit of spillover of the end of this quarter into the start of the next one that'll be exciting.
New Horus Heresy starter set.
That's what people say.
In June.
That's what everything says.
It would be interesting to see if they take the kill team approach, which is the other box game approach. Sorry, the other big game approach. So they're gonna if they're gonna bigify.
Got it. They were the original big box though.
They were.
Well, after Titanic.
Well, if they're gonna do what they did to they've done to first they did it with 40K, then AOS, where they have like the tiered starter sets.
Yes.
And they did it with Kill Team, where you have like the launch box and the starter set. We'll see if Horus Heresy gets a new launch box and a starter set, or just a starter set.
I mean, the HH one is fascinating because they could probably, if it's just a giant box and let's say it's $400+ Canadian, like it would still do great because Horus Heresy guys are like, just get me the most for the best price, and it always has been
really good value.
Like the current $375 box is like just again, I've said before, probably the greatest box they've ever made in the company's history.
It's like 40 Space Marines.
It's 2,000 point army.
It's 40 open-ended Space Marines.
Yeah,
you can do anything with
very
it.
good.
So super cool.
So
10 Terminators.
Yeah. That's exciting for a store like us because we do have a relatively good robust HH community here, which thank God, because it's like such a great IP and game, and I hope this means that they do some real restocks. There's like 3/4 of the range that has been unpurchasable for a little while.
Yeah, that would be surprised me if that's intentional in some regard. Like they're not repackaging things. Maybe there is a new box art coming, or who knows what the heck's going on there.
New era.
But that's probably not till June. If we're thinking like it's going to be their summer release, which because Age of Darkness usually falls on that off year.
So are we falling into, what is this? Is this, what year of 10th that are we in? Is this year?
This is year 2. So next year's the last year.
Next year's the last.
Next year's new 40K box. It's amazing how quickly it just
was. We went 40K AOS today. HH, yes. So
life is measured in 40K cycles.
In 40K cycles, How many 40Ks have you lived through? 11. Yeah, that's about right, actually.
All of them.
Yeah.
I've lived through all of them.
So.
Yeah.
So then, well, that does line up this year pretty well. So then that means in the next 12 months we should get some of the biggest haymakers, like whatever. Like is the Space Wolves going to be like the late Ed, or is it the start of the next Ed? Like how are they going to do that?
I feel like early next year. This is getting out of the period here, but I feel like early next year you can probably pencil in a new Loyalist Primarch drop.
Yep.
Why not end the edition with another Primarch?
Yes.
You got to keep things even.
Even get another one going. Yeah. Yes. No. It continues. Yeah, to be exciting. It's been, people ask us in the store, how's things? I'm like, it hasn't stopped. Like the from whatever you want to say, from the fall or the summer all the way through Christmas, and then January, February. Now, like it does very much feel like we're in this like new era of like just pace. Yeah. Yes. And it's been a relentless pace, and the customers are eating it up for the most part, right? Like the market is absorbing it really well. Yeah. Yes, and it seems to be, things are dialed in. Like I'm always like, is something gonna like calm down? Is there gonna be like a dead zone? And even, but the releases, like people are just so locked into these releases. Like I haven't. This is why we're even making a video on it. It's like it is exceptional. Mm-hmm. Is usually the pattern is a little more like, oh, here's the one marquee thing, and then around the edges, there's some surprises, and then some duds, and it kind of evens out, and you kind of wait till the next. Every quarter, there's like maybe a thing, and some quarters are. Chris and I do comment sometimes. We see a release weekend, or historically in the past, we have where we've been like, oh, this is just what's out this week? Oh, it's just a Comet Patrol or something reboxed that you're like, oh, big deal. And I would always say the line, how am I supposed to eat this week? This is not. I'm supposed to feed the kids. This is not enough, right? Like, where's the. Yeah, and that's yeah, they're like, here you go. Now they're just shoving the donut in my mouth, and I can't.
Yeah.
And
I'm full.
I'm Homer in the chair or whatever,
Yeah,
just
yeah,
like
yeah.
getting stuffed, and I can't, take another bite. But it doesn't matter because it's another one's coming. So, yeah, and it's funny. A little anecdote I had. We've been getting some emails, just kind of people asking us industry questions about opening stores or some ideas, some things they have. In this case, it was someone who in Canada who has a store that's like a couple of years old, and they were sending me like charts and graphs about. Thank you for those. But how things have been doing, and they've been basically like, yeah, as they've been increasing 40K, sales have been going up essentially, and I'm not surprised right now.
No,
it's between the. I mean, yeah, I'm waiting for I'm already excited for Space Marine 3, that's like, maybe I can get another car or something. Man, it is good.
Yeah, it's a wild time.
Just
like
enjoy it. All you can do is just enjoy it because
Yeah.
like you never know. You just don't.
You can't take anything for granted for sure.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. And we've been around for booms, and so there's always busts as well. So
yeah, I would say up until prior to this time, maybe like, I remember 8th Ed 40K landed really well.
Mm-hmm.
That was that's when we had Dark Empyrean. That was the start of these like really bonker starter boxes again. Well, historically Games Workshop made great starter boxes, but they abandoned or left the like ultra cheap box and started going like, yeah, we're going to charge $200 or $300 a box, but give you like an insane amount of stuff,
crazy amount of stuff. Yeah,
and I remember at the time we're like, is this crazy? And then people ate it up, and now we've seen some.
Yeah, people have kind of
like maybe that like a Skaven Tide or the AOS, maybe it's like doesn't work as well there as much, but or maybe in Kill Team.
I honestly still think it's just a printing issue. It's
Making too many.
Make too many.
Yeah, you're right.
I think the products are still.
That's very true.
Good for what they are, but like the markets, unless it's like you said, you always say this, unless it's a 40K box.
Yeah.
You have to be. You can almost print infinity or whatever, but like with the other ones, you have to be careful.
Yeah. If Games Workshop went to me and said,
as I stare at our Hivestorm.
Yeah.
Which we've mostly sold through.
Yes.
Yeah.
Hivestorm. No, it's true. Maybe if Games Workshop said, we can give you. We just said every store you can have a max of 10 Skaven Tides or something, and then because that's all we made. And then it sold out quickly. Yeah, it probably people
get their torches out and they start pitchforking people. But like, the reality is they only want it because like this happens a lot with stuff.
Now, like to kind of add a little last little bit here because this is a complete garbage video. But we're seeing other sections of the hobby segment or whatever or other games like Pokemon is also like the most fire I've ever seen a product in our 10 years or whatever. I can't think of other than, they also had some absolute slam dunk things.
It's weird. It is odd that they're simultaneously both having this like moment or whatever, right?
Yeah. And Magic's also been pretty robust since the pandemic maybe you could say they're still having a good year now, but they had their biggest year with the Lord of the Rings and all that stuff. So I guess people are just like fired up to buy their toys again. I don't know. Are you guys all just YOLOing money at Warhammer?
Maybe. Hopefully it's not because of how people feel about the world right now.
It is a good escape.
It is a great escape.
Yeah.
The great escape.
Yeah, the great escape. The greatest escape.
Let us know in the comment section how you feel. Do you think Games Workshop can repeat a quarter like this? What would they have to release?
Yes.
Like that's what we're kind of like just shaking our heads, being like, how?
I'm like staring at the 40K wall because it's behind the camera, and I just am like, I don't know. Like they've done a lot of the most important bits, like maybe a large Grey Knight refresh or something.
Holy moly, you just solved it. Get this man a job. That took you all 5 seconds, eh? Give me some Primarchs Grey Knights. Boom, make $1 billion or whatever. Okay, we did it.
Yeah.
Oh man. Yeah. Adepticon preview coming up. Grey Knights.
Maybe. There's some things that we've already like you can't make they already redid all the greater demons and
do all the lesser demons now though. That's a huge thing. Those are 20 years old now, believe it or not.
Yeah, yes.
Yeah.
Yes. But that's a resculpt. That's like kind of, it's good, but
Yeah.
yeah.
True. You're right. When you're right, you're right. Yeah. What do you guys think? Let us know in the comments section. You will anyways, even when I don't tell you to do that.
Yes.
We love your essays. Let us know. And check out our Patreon if you haven't already. You can support us for as little as $3 a month, and all that money goes back into the channel. We try to improve and do more the more we see the Patreon grow. Thank you so much. Take care.
Thanks, bye.